Alright guys, now I know I haven't posted in a while, but anyway, here we are. Today we're going to be doing a tier list, and it's not just going to be any tier list, it's going to be a tier list of all the sprites in Pokemon Red and Green. If you guys don't know, when Red and Blue came out in Japan, it was originally Red and Green, and then the third version in Japan of that game was Pokemon Blue, but in the West we just got Red and Blue. So the sprites are different in that game, but these are the sprites of the Japanese original game. So Red and Green, the original sprites. So yeah, you already know what we're gonna do in this video, so anyways, let's just get to ranking. We're doing a tier list. This is not scripted, by the way. I'm just doing this in my bedroom at like 3. Anyway, first off, we got Bulbasaur, and we're gonna be ranking these on how accurate they are to what they are supposed to look like what the Pokemon is, like how it looks like now and everything else. So, for example, Bulbasaur, I feel like would get S tier because I think this looks like a Bulbasaur to me. I mean, are there flaws with it? I guess, but to me, it doesn't really look too bad, and you'll see what bad looks like the farther down we go. Next up, we got Ivysaur. He looks a little weird. I don't know why there's like this hole here. I guess that's his bulb on his back. I don't know why it's got a hole though. I'd say it's like an A. And keep in mind, this is just on how accurate the sprites are to how they look to the actual Pokemon. I do know that the sprites were made first, and then the artwork was made. But anyway, here's Venusaur. There's just one problem with Venusaur. They made the little, the tree thing. They made it take up so much of its body that that's all you really see on your first glance. They made, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but it just looks kind of weird. Like, it's not bad, but it just looks kind of weird. Like, Venusaur is right there, and he kind of looks a little flat because there's this giant frickin' tree on him, and I know Venusaur always has a giant tree on him, but the way it's like said, I don't know, it just looks kind of weird here, at least in my opinion. So we're gonna give it a B, and keep in mind, B is still like pretty good. Okay, Charmander. So this guy, I think Charizard is probably the best, but we're not at them yet. Let's start with Charmander. His head is completely wrong. His head does not look like this. I don't know why. He almost kind of has like in the games, his head is more like, I don't know, I guess like salamander-like, I guess. But here it just looks kind of like a really goofy-looking dinosaur, which, hey, I love, but it doesn't look like Charmander. So we're gonna have to give it C tier because I mean they got everything else right. Like the tail looks. I don't know what's going on with the tail, but it just looks like one big log, and the fire is just like, it doesn't really look like it's connected. But other than those two things, the sprite actually itself isn't too bad. It's just the head, man. Same with this guy. Charmeleon, I think, I don't know what they were thinking with this fire though. Like, I know it's supposed to be fire, but it looks kind of like a fin of like a fish or something. I don't know. It looks too smooth. Because you can see the fire on, for example, Charizard. It kind of looks like it's a burning flame, and I get that the flame is kind of blowing in the wind or whatever, but I don't think it looks very good. And also, it's got that problem where like the flame is not connected to the tail, so it just kind of looks like the flame on his tail is just floating. But I think he's C tier as well. This guy's B. Now, well, compared to these guys, he looks pretty good. However, there are a couple of things. One, they made him a little cute. And what I mean by that is they kind of made his eyes a little big. And I don't know what's going on with his arm right there. Not the one with the 3 claws. The one, it looks like it has 2. I know there's a third one. It's just covered up. But still. And then the tail, again, has the same issue as these guys, where the flame is not connected to the tail. It's just kind of floating. And then the tail itself on this guy, I mean, they made it like, they kind of tried to like they made it thicker, but it just ends up looking like, I don't know, it just doesn't look good. Its tail, I don't really know why, but its tail just doesn't look good, and I can't really describe why. And that's the same theme you're gonna see with most of these guys. I mean, now that I'm looking at this is not a good Charizard sprite at all. um, he's actually, no, I changed my mind. He's probably the worst out of all these guys. Alright, oh, by the way, this game is in black and white, or black and green, or whatever, but, this is just, someone just recolored the sprites. So yeah, anyway, Squirtle, I don't know why they put him in that pose, but he's pretty much just as good as, Bulbasaur. Does he have issues? Yes, but compared to some of these other ones, he's pretty, actually, we're gonna put Venusaur in A. He got promoted up to A. For now, Wartortle, he doesn't really have his mouth open often, but I do like the way it looks. It looks just like him, so we're also going to give this an S tier. I kind of like when the Pokemon look like expressive in their sprites. This is probably the best sprite, because this looks just like Blastoise does. Like, even nowadays, this looks just like him. Like, the other ones, like, even, like, some of these, like, other ones in S tier, yeah, they have some problems, but Blastoise, I think, I'm looking at it, trying to find a flaw, and I can't really find any. It looks just like him, so, yeah, probably the best sprite we're going to see. Alright, we're done with the starters. Now we're getting on to, the real ones. So, real ones, they're all real ones, but the Pokemon you find in the wild. So, first off is Caterpie, and this is another S tier. Now, keep in mind, as I've said before, S tier just means accurate, not good looking. Although that Caterpie is a pretty decent looking sprite. Metapod, its eye is supposed to kind of, this is more of a nitpick, but when you see Metapod, its eye is kind of like half closed. Like he has like his eyelid like covering like half his eye. This one just has his eye wide open. It's kind of hard to explain what I mean. I might throw a graphic up on screen just to show you what I'm talking about. But yeah, I'd say it's an A, honestly. Okay, first off, there's a couple problems with this sprite. And there's really just one, actually. It kind of looks like it gained a little bit of weight. Like, I think it's just, like, I mean, it's not too bad, so I'll give it A tier. Weedle, again, he looks pretty good. I don't think he looks quite as good as Caterpie, so we're just going to put him in A. Kakuna, he looks good. It just kind of looks like the one thing, and again, this is more of a nitpick, but it kind of looks like he's emerging from his cocoon. Like, just the way the line art is, but I don't think that was, like, intentional, so I'll give it a pass. And also, I mean, I think it looks pretty cool, so, yeah, it's going into S. Beedrill, I'd say, yeah, that's Beedrill. That is Beedrill. That we'll put him in S, although I think he's at the lower end of S, because he may have some flaws. Alright, I'm just going to say this now. Bring some of the fatter Pokemon back. Like, make Pidgey fat again. I love how he was fat in, like, the older games. But yeah, judging on how Pidgey was at the time, this is pretty much 1-to-1 with what Pidgey looked like. Same with, well, I think it's kind of hard to judge them because they don't have colors. Even, like, the person who recolored this, they just did, like, the tints, which I think, like, looks better for these sprites, but it's still kind of hard to tell, like, what's what sometimes. Anyway, yeah, I'd say these are about equal with, Pidgey, so they'll get S tier. I do like the Pidgeot. Not much to say about the Pidgey. So far, we're doing pretty good, but as we go down, you can probably still see, you can see some of the bad ones, but, alright. Rattata and Raticate, I mean, yeah, that's Rattata and Raticate, I'd say that's S. And, again, I'm going to say this, this will be the last time I say this, I promise, but this is based on, like, this isn't based on how much I like the Pokemon, this is based on how good they look compared to what they look like, or at least what they're supposed to look like. This guy looks a little weird, and I think it's because his mouth is open, and normally you don't really see Spearow with his mouth open. You'll mostly see it with his mouth closed, at least, like, in a fish. Like, I know him in, like, something like the anime or something, he has his, like, mouth open when he's, like, I don't know, but, here it just looks kind of weird. I'm gonna give it A, though, because, like, it's still Spearow, like, I could still tell who he is. Same with Fearow is actually really good. Like, that looks just like him. He's also S tier. Okay, so, remember when I said a lot of these Did I even say some of these sprites aren't accurate? I don't know, but they are, because look at this guy. This is Ekans. His mouth, his mouth is really the worst part. Like, everything other than that is fine. Sure, his eyes look a little dumb, but I can excuse that. But his mouth, dude, what were they thinking? This almost kind of looks like Weeping Bell's mouth. It's just a really weird looking mouth. Like, it just doesn't look like threatening. It looks like something you would put something in. Like, I don't even want to talk about it. It's just an awful sprite, man. It's really funny, but it does not look like Ekans at all. I mean, yeah, I guess they got this body shape right, but it's just the freaking head, man. Oh my god, and the mouth. That mouth is an E tier. Maybe, depending on how bad some of these other ones are, he'll get moved up, but I don't know. But no, sorry, that's just my dog barking. Anyway, so Arbok looks decent. Again, I think he's a little too cute. He doesn't really look menacing, but, yeah, he's okay, I guess. Pikachu is S tier. Now, yes, Pikachu is not this fat now, but you gotta remember, in the 90s, Pikachu was fat. So for the time, and still today, this was what Pikachu looked like. And today, this is what he should look like. Same with Raichu. I like the fatter Pikachus. I think they were more cute, and I think they were more, like, just fun to look at. Like, whenever I see Pikachu, I just wanted to gain weight. I don't know. Anyway, okay. Wow, they made Sandshrew really cute. But yeah, I mean, that is Sandshrew. So we'll put that in. I put those guys. Yeah, okay. Sandslash. I mean, that's Sandslash. So, like, A. I don't think it's quite S tier, though. Alright. Okay, first problem, and I said this before in this video somewhere, I forget where, but some of these sprites they just made way too cute. Like, they made these guys' eyes really big, and they it looks like they kind of made them a little chubbier. I don't know if that's just me, but it kind of looks, they don't look like threatening, like, because normally, like, you see how Nidorino male's eyes are? That's how it should be on this guy. But it's not. But other than that, I mean, well, I guess since this guy's up here, we might as well just put him. Yeah, he's S tier. He looks exactly the same as he looks like now. Alright. This one's like an A. I think it's kind of worse, but I don't know. This one's, again, S, because that is a Nidorina. They made these guys too cute. They're not as bad as not as bad as Charmander or Ekans, but they're not the best. So we're gonna throw them in B. I like the way they look, but they don't look 100% accurate. This guy's pretty good, though. He looks just like the art that I think they still use to this day of Nidorino, actually. Okay, Clefairy looks really good. It kind of looks a little depressed, but it still looks good. It looks like Clefairy. Same with Clefable. Clefable's going in S. Alright, Vulpix looks a little strange, but not bad, so we'll put it in B. Ninetales. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, Ninetales, they kind of, like, I know Ninetales does that position, but it's kind of a weird position for the first Pokemon sprite to do when these are some of the sprites you made already. But, anyway, but yeah, it's okay. I think it's not as good as it could have been. Like, it looks a little underwhelming, but, I mean, it's Ninetales still, so I think we're put it in C. Okay, alright, so here's Jigglypuff. It's a little goofy looking. The eyes, I think they could have made them better, but it's fine. It's like a B, but this one, they made one, I know it's because it's looking to, like, its left, so the one eye on the left is bigger, but they made it so much bigger, it's to the point where it just kind of looks like deranged, like, and it doesn't look, like, if they made both of the eyes the same size, it would be fine, but they made the eyes so small there, and then they made that one really big, and it just kind of looks creepy rather than cute. No. What the heck is... Oh, it's Zubat. I don't know why he... Does Zubat normally look like that? Oh, no. It kind of looks like he has a mustache there. Maybe I'm just stupid. I don't know. I'll just put this in A because I'm probably just stupid and I just forget. Anyway, Golbat, it's much better than its its red and blue Sprite. Which, I mean, I actually like that Sprite, but it's objectively not very good. So we're going to put this guy in A. Oddish. Oddish is okay, I guess. It's like a B. Gloom is the best out of the Vileplume line. I think it's S tier. But Vileplume itself, it has like it has like a perspective issue, right? Because you got the mushroom on its head or the flower or whatever it is. It almost looks like it's like top down almost, right? But then you just have Vileplume standing in a straight up position. So the perspective of where the flower should be, like you see, like, for example, here's Parasect. The flower should kind of be like, I don't know, I guess tilted back a bit because, like, this perspective just doesn't make any sense on this one. But it still looks like Vileplume. It is better than Ekans and Wigglytuff. Alright, here's Paris. He's pretty good. It kind of looks like he has extra legs. He doesn't, but I thought he did for a second. Well, yeah, that's a good Paris spread. I give that like an A, and I give this an S because I think this and Blastoise are the two best sprites in this entire game in terms of accuracy to the original Pokemon. Venonat looks a little angry. I know that's just its like antennas or whatever they're called, but just the way they put them kind of, because normally they don't really go like over his eyes, kind of like eyebrows. These kind of look like eyebrows. I think it's supposed to be like on the top of its head, but it's not too bad. It's like a B. They made Venomoth way too thick, and I kind of love it, but I mean, it is too thick, so it does get C. I'm just looking at C, and I think all the Charmanders go in D because, like, they don't look very good. Anyway, yeah, these guys are good. These guys look pretty much identical to what they look like today. They're always, but here's the thing. Gen 1 is weird when it comes to Red and Green, because you have some sprites, like the Blastoise, and the Bulbasaur, and the Parasite, and stuff like that, and Clefable, and Pikachu, and like, Fearow, and they look good. But then you have sprites like Ekans and Charizard, which genuinely look abysmal. In fact, I'm gonna actually move Charizard lower. He looks pathetic. He looks... Anyway, oh, that's Meowth. Okay, so Meowth, he looks a little fat. It's kind of hard. I think that's his tail back there. Oh yeah, that's his tail right there. Okay, so his tail's kind of hard to see, but I mean that is Meowth, so it gets a B. It's just kind of an odd position because, you know, when you're battling a Pokemon, it's supposed to be looking to like its left, and yours is looking to the right or whatever. But this guy's just looking straight forward. So when you're battling it in the game, it'll look kind of weird, you know. But yeah, Persian. I don't know why they gave it this, like, static look, I guess, to, like, make it look like fur, but it just doesn't work. It looks like its legs are almost, like, too long. This is not a good Persian sprite, but it is better than these guys, so we're gonna put it in C. Psyduck? Okay, this is a God tier sprite. This looks just like Psyduck. Nothing is wrong with it. S tier. Golduck, on the other... Golduck, on the other hand, man, he's seen some stuff. Like, everything else about him looks okay, I guess, but, like, his eyes just don't look good. Like, they're looking upwards. Or at least that's what it looks like. And it just looks weird. Like, Golduck is supposed to have, like, more kind of, like, I don't know, I guess angrier looking eyes. These eyes don't really look that angry. And when I say angrier looking eyes, I mean, like, stuff like the eyes like that this guy has. I mean, not as angry as the eyes this guy has, but you know what I mean. Like, kind of, at least, like, some slantness on the eyes to give it kind of, like, an angrier look. But it just kind of looks like it's not, it doesn't care. Like, it kind of doesn't look like it's angry. It doesn't look like it's ready to fight. It just looks like it's just standing there. It's just not, it just looks weird. So I'm giving it C tier. Alright, this might, okay, well, it has some stiff competition, but this is an E tier Mankey Sprite, because this looks like a blob with arms and legs. Not a monkey. You know, I think this trick, although I'm not a fan of it, where they do the static to make it look like fur, they should have done it on this guy, because I guess they kind of did. Like, you can see some lines that kind of look like fur, but it just doesn't look very good. Although I do think it gets a little too much hate. It's definitely not as bad as these guys on an E, but I think it's still E tier, because like the Charmanders are in D. These guys are in E. But yeah. Primeape, okay. I don't know if this is good. It's definitely not. It's definitely not the most accurate. They did that thing where they did like kind of like a staticky looking thing to give it like fur, or like, I guess, a spiky thing in this case. And then for whatever reason, they decided to add like a little, I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's above like his second eye. There's like a shine, like a shiny thing on him to make him look reflective. This is just a really bad and weird sprite, man. This might actually be just as bad as Mankey now that I'm looking at him. I'm sorry, but I think he's E. He looks really weird. Okay. This guy, pretty good. He's like an A. Growlithe, he's like an A. And I think Arcanine is S. I mean, that's like, even today, like, that's a pretty good looking Arcanine sprite. Alright. Oh boy. Why is he sad? You know how when I was saying the Metapod should have slanted eyes? This is what I meant. Like, look at Poliwag's eyes. They kind of have like a slant. I don't know what that thing's called. I think it's like a slant. But they have like a slant. But that slant makes it just look like it's depressed. Like, they should have done that on a Metapod, because that's what Metapod's eyes look like. And then for this one, they should have made its eyes wide open. They're half closed on this sprite. Which completely ruins the sprite. On top of it, it's looking straight forward again, which doesn't make sense when you're battling it. But, I mean, it's not the worst. It's better than these guys, but I don't know. I'm giving it C. If it didn't have the eyes, then I think it would have gotten like an A. But those eyes, man, they just look depressed. These guys' eyes look way too far apart. But, I mean, they're not, okay. He doesn't look perfectly round, this sprite. There's just something off about this Poliwhirl sprite to me, because he's supposed to be, like, pretty round, and while he is round, he doesn't look like he's that round, at least compared to some of the other ones. So I'm gonna give him B. He's better than this guy, because this guy just looks depressed. Alright. Poliwrath is probably the best out of all of them. I think he's A. He might even be S, actually. But we'll do A for now. Abra's eyes look kind of weird. Like, I know, okay, Abra's eyes are closed, but they're kind of supposed to be closing downwards on the Pokemon. They're closing upwards, which looks kind of weird. And for whatever reason, they decide to make its tail kind of spiky looking. I don't know why they did that. Like, look at its tail. Like, it's spiky looking. Like, Abra's tail is not spiky. It's more straight. It's like this guy's tail, Mankey's. So if they would have just gotten rid of that, probably could have gone in A, but I'm giving it B. It looks kind of like pointy, which Abra is not a pointy looking Pokemon. Kadabra, yeah, he's pretty good. I think the only thing I would change is the spoon. Like, I get the static on the spoon is supposed to be kind of like, I don't know, if I had to guess, like, the shining reflection. But it's not the worst. It's an A. It's an A. Oh boy, we're getting into the bad ones soon. But okay, but this guy's pretty decent. I mean, it looks kind of goofy, but all these sprites look goofy, honestly. Alright, Machop just looks weird. He's He has like this really weird smile, and oh god, he looks hard. Oh god, I mean, it's Machop, but it's not a very good looking one. There's just I don't know. There's just always been something off about the Machamp line of sprites to me in Gen 1. At least for red and green, and then red and blue. I think in yellow they fixed it, but these sprites just look kind of off. First of all, this one suffers from the Nidoking and Nidoqueen, where they kind of made it a little too cute. Alright, they made its eyes too big and yada yada yada. But this guy looks kind of creepy. He's definitely the worst in my opinion. And also, I'm not sure, but I think he's supposed to be taller. I think Machoke and Machamp are supposed to be taller. Like, Machop is fine, but I think they're supposed to be taller. But, where do I rank these? Okay, so Machop is C. Machoke is probably... I mean, it does look like Machoke. As much as I don't like this sprite, I will give it B tier because it kind of looks like Machoke. No, I guess I'll give this B tier too. I'm just not personally a fan of how these sprites look, but they do look accurate. They are better than all the ones in the C. Actually, let's move let's move Poliwag up. This guy goes in C though. He's too cute looking. Anyway, Bellsprout, it looks pretty good. I don't know why they made his mouth kind of closed off. Like, it's supposed to be... Like, for example, like this guy's mouth. It's, like, yeah, there's light in there, but that's just, I think, just to be just, like, light in there or whatever. I don't know. But Bellsprout, it kind of looks like he has, like, a pacifier that he's sucking on. So, but other than that, I mean, it's pretty much Bellsprout. From what I remember... Oh, wait. Oh, no, I'm just an idiot. Okay, so... But it does kind of look like he's just sucking on a pacifier, but that might just be a me problem. But he's B, I guess. And this guy's... Yeah, that's Weeping Bell. Looks like Weeping Bell to me. And then Victory Bell. Yeah, Victory Bell's definitely the best. He's probably up there with, like, Blastoise and Parasect as the most accurate-looking ones of this gen. Keep in mind, just because the sprites aren't accurate does not mean I don't think they're good. I think they're hilarious, but I think... You know, you gotta judge them fairly, and objectively, oh my god, that's you. Okay, we'll get to him later. Tentacool looks kind of, its tentacles, I think they're supposed to be longer. This guy's tentacles are fine. But this guy's, I know that he's just curling them up, but they kind of don't look as long as they should. I don't know. So he gets a B. This guy gets, I think, S tier because, I mean, he does look like Tentacruel. They even did the reflective detailing on the things, which for this Pokemon actually does make sense to do. Anyway. Alright. Geodude looks really puny here. I don't know what the heck happened on his head. I know he's a rock, so he's supposed to have kind of like a rocky head, but like it just kind of looks like it's weird. Like, his body's, like, almost a perfect circle. But then you just got, like, this, like, thing. And it doesn't even look like bumps on a rock. It looks like that's just his hair. And then his arms, they look kind of, they're kind of puny looking, honestly. Yeah, this is an E tier sprite. I'm sorry. This guy's fine. He's not the best, but he's not bad. He's, like, an A tier. And this guy suffers the same problem as all the other ones, where they made him too... I don't know why they keep doing this reflective stuff on Pokemon that really don't need it, but they made him too cute. Again, they made his eyes way too freaking big, so he gets D. Anyway, Ponyta, yeah, that's pretty good, I think. So that's an A. This one is, like, also around, like, the same A, or maybe even, like, low S or something. Alright, so, here's Slowpoke, and I think his eyes, there's just something with his eyes that... Okay, so you guys ever see something, and then it just doesn't look right to you, and you can't exactly explain why? This is that Slowpoke sprite. He just kind of looks off. I mean, it looks like Slowpoke, but just something about it just doesn't add up for me, you know? Maybe its eyes are too small. I don't even freaking know, but he's like a B. I think this guy's good. I don't know why. It looks like he's laughing about something. I don't know why they gave him that position, but it is pretty. It's not too bad. It's like actually, I think. Oh, sorry about that. I think he's actually an S. Actually. All right. Next up, why did they make his screw so long? They made the screw coming out of him. He has a screw coming up out of the top of him, but Magnemite's screw is not that freaking long. Like, it's in his head more, if that makes any sense. But I'm giving it C. I mean, like, anyway. Like, see, like a screw should be like this. Like, you see the top one of this Magneton? The top Magnemite on the Magneton is what this guy should look like. But no, they made his screw really, like, they extended it out for some reason. But this one's okay. I do think they made those screws a little long, though. But other than that, I think it's like an A-tier sprite. Farfetch'd looks kind of goofy. And Farfetch'd has always looked kind of goofy, but this is the goofiest looking one. First off, he suffers a problem that a lot of these sprites have, where they made him a little too fat, I guess. Which is not a bad thing, but that's just not what Farfetch'd looks like. He's pretty much the same as, like, Pidgey. And even though, in this generation, Pidgey was a fatter Pokemon, Farfetch'd wasn't. And his duckbill looks kind of weird. So we're going to put him in, C. Doduo, pretty good, not too bad. We'll put him in S because he looks like what he's supposed to. Anyway, Dogio, yeah, I mean, that is Dogio. We'll put that in S as well. No, we'll put that in A, actually. Okay, Seal and Dugong, and I'm being serious when I say this, they might have some of the best sprites of this entire game. The game that is Pokemon Red and Green. Because they look exactly how they're supposed to. The emotions on the Pokemon is exactly how they're drawn out. They're just really, they look 100% accurate, pretty much. Alright, so they got... Okay, so let's start with Grimer, because obviously he comes first. Grimer, he should be a little wider. You know? Like, this is the opposite problem with some of the Pokemon, where they made him too fat. No, this guy needs to be more wide, because Grimer is, like, a bigger pile of sludge than this. Like, just make his bottom, like, a couple pixels bigger, and then I'd say you got a pretty good, do I keep calling him Golem? I mean, Grimer. Grimer, I think he's a B. I'd say this guy's like an S. Yeah, he's an S. I don't know if the poison from his tooth is on the actual art, but it looks cool, so I'm getting it an S. And I think Muck does look like that. Anyway, Shelter. It's kind of a weird angle to see Shelter just from the front, but, I mean, other than that, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. But it's not great, so we'll give it B tier. Cloyster, on the other hand, looks exactly like Cloyster, so we give that S. Okay. Ghastly. This is a really weird looking version of Ghastly. He looks too gassy, if that makes any sense. And I know that sounds stupid because his name is Ghastly, but Ghastly, you know, the ball on the inside of him is kind of more not gassy. I don't know what I'm saying, but it's more like round. Like, it's not like just a ball of smoke. I think that's what it's supposed to be, but in all Ghastly art, besides this one, his gas in the center is more of like just a ball shape. But here it's just gas, just like the rest of it, except it's colored purple. But I'll just say that that's probably because this was like his original design, and then the artist Ken Sugimura made his artwork, and then that became the design they rolled with. But regardless, we're still judging it based on that, so we're gonna put it in C. Haunter looks pretty good. I mean, he could be better, but he looks pretty good. We'll give him like a B. Gengar, though, oh my god, Gengar! Alright, how many times do I have to tell the red and green sprite makers, put in static on Pokemon to make them look like they have fur, when they clearly don't have fur? Does not frickin' work. And I think the static on this is actually supposed to be like gas or whatever, but it kind of looks like he has fur. And from what I know, and from what most people who play Pokemon know, I don't think Gengar has fur, and if he does, it's never, like, bulging out of him like it is here. Wow, like, he looks really hairy, and he's supposed to be kind of more smooth-looking, honestly. He looks too spiky and, like, hairy, and, like, he kind of looks like he has fur, and, oh my god, just doesn't work. I'm sorry, but he's getting D. I do not like this Gengar sprite at all. Not that's bad, it just doesn't look like Gengar. Onyx, yeah, that's Onyx. So S, because it looks like Onyx. You know, I must just say about the ones that look exactly like the way they're supposed to. Drowsy looks kind of dumb, but Drowsy always looks kind of dumb. So we're going to give it a... Actually, no, Jigglypuff should be an A. We're going to give Drowsy a B, and we're going to give Hypno a... Hypno looks kind of weird, but we're going to give him a B. Okay. Now, the crabs. Krabby Sprite is pretty good. It's like a B. But Kingler, that's his name. Kingler Sprite is really good. Looks just like Kingler, down to the fine details of Kingler. It's going in S tier. Alright, now we got, Voltorb, and the sprite has just one problem. They made only one of his eyes have kind of like an eye, well, I guess Voltorb doesn't have eyebrows, but, like, they only made one of his eyes have, like, because, like, the way Voltorb looks, it has, like, ridges above his eyes to kind of look like eyebrows to give it, like, an angry look. But for this sprite, they only did it to one of his eyes. So you have this one eye that's kind of slanted, and the left eye, or the second eye, or whatever it's called, looks the way it's supposed to. The way they did it on on this side of the Pokemon, you know, the side with like the eye being covered up by the top of it, looks better than this side. I guess it's kind of hard to explain what I mean, but yeah. Anyway. But he's alright. Like, it's kind of hard to believe that they didn't get a ball accurate and they got Blastoise accurate, but what are you going to do? He's B, though. I mean, same with this guy. I don't know why he has kind of like this, I don't know what, it's like this black thing on him. I don't know why he has that. But, I mean, it kind of looks like he's cracked. But, yeah, it's not bad. I think that's just supposed to be shading, so we'll put him in A. Alright, this guy, Execute, he's pretty alright. He's pretty good. He's like a B. Evolution, yeah, I mean, that is Executor. It looks kind of dumb, but Executor always looks kind of dumb. And I love Executor because he looks dumb, but anyway. Alright. Cubone, okay, this is peak. This sprite right here, this freaking Marowak sprite, might be one of the worst sprites in this. First off, they made it too cute. And you guys might be getting tired of me saying that, but it's true. They made this one too cute. And they also made it gain weight. You know, because Marowak, I think, is supposed to be thinner than Cubone, but here, it looks like it's about the same size. No, it actually looks like it's, like, thicker than Cubone. So Cubone looks great, S tier, but Marowak, and then the bone, like, I know it's supposed to be a bone, but it kind of just looks like it's holding a wrench, man. I don't get it. They made this too thick. I hate using that word to describe Pokemon, but they made this guy look too thick. But yeah, Cubone is S tier. And whatever that thing is, goes in E, I'm sorry. Anyway. Alright, Hitmonlee, pretty good. Pretty good. There is the other Hitmon, though, and we will get to him. We will get to him. This might be the most infamous sprite in this entire generation, besides another one that's coming up. But, this is an awful sprite for so many reasons. For one, it looks like there's a Togekiss in the back and of a Doduo that's squatting to take a poop. And that's weird. I know what it's supposed to be doing. It's supposed to be crouching down and blocking itself with, like, its fists. But, like, they made its eyes way too... They didn't make them angry looking. So it looks like it literally just looks like a Togetic behind a Doduo taking a poop. It's just an awful sprite. It does not look like Hitmonchan at all. And it gets E tier. Now, Lickitung, just, again, he has the Slowpoke prom where, I mean, I love the sprite, don't get me wrong, but it's just something about it doesn't really look like Lickitung. You know, I think he's not this, like, small. I think he's a little bigger. So they got his size wrong. And his tongue looks a little too thin, but that's just a nitpick. But I put him in B. Alright, Coughing and Wheezing look really good. I do like how they have put the gas around it. At first I thought those were hands, but it's the gas that's around the Pokemon. But yeah, it's pretty good. Same with Wheezing, honestly. I think Wheezing actually has a worse sprite in Red and Blue. In fact, some Pokemon do. And I'll make a video on that if you guys want to see it. Anyway, these guys just look weird. I don't know what it is, but Rhydon and Rhyhorn just look kind of... I mean, Rhyhorn and Rhydon, sorry. They look kind of weird. Rhydon, that's the Pokemon... That's this one, I think. Anyway, Rhyhorn, this guy, he looks okay. This one, he looks, again... He looks too small and a little bit too cute. He's supposed to be taller. These two should not be the same size. But, we'll put this guy in C, and we'll put this guy in B, because I think okay, so we still have a couple left. Oh, boy. Okay. Alright, so Chansey looks okay. It looks alright. It's not as bad as its Red and Blue sprite. If I ever make that video of me ranking Red and Blue sprites, I'll talk about this one. But this sprite isn't too bad. It's like a B. It looks kind of off, but what are you gonna do? Tangela, though, they made its little, I don't know, I guess it's like Tangle, or it's like, I don't know what you call them, like the stuff around Tangela. I'm just gonna call it spaghetti because I don't know what else to call it. Or like we'll just call it the noodles. So the noodles around Tangela normally are more like rounded and they don't really stick out. They stick out here, which, don't get me wrong, looks cool, but that's not how Tangela looks. But I feel like that's more nitpicky, so we're gonna put Tangela in B tier. Alright. You don't really see the baby of Kangaskhan on its stomach really getting angry and opening its mouth all the time. You see that on this sprite, though, but this sprite is pretty good. Is it a little too cutesy for the Pokemon it is supposed to be? Yes, but I don't think it's that bad. I'm giving it a B. Alright. Wow, so far we got no F-tier ones. That's actually kind of insane. Actually, no, yeah, we do. Okay, we can put some in F-tier. Okay. I think this guy goes in F tier. This is probably the worst sprite in the entire game, in my opinion. And then we got this guy. I think he's E still. This guy's F tier. That mouth, man. The more I look at that mouth, the more stuff I can think of. And none of that stuff I can say. So, yeah. Like, his mouth looks weird. It looks like, I can't say what it looks like or else this video would get demonetized, but yeah. Anyway. Horsey looks a little too fat on its stomach here. But, other than that, it's fine, I guess. I don't know why I just blanked out there, so it gets a B. Sejo looks good. I'd say Sejo's I'd say it's like an, well, it's an A, but it's a very low A. Okay, so for whatever reason, they made Goldeen mad. I don't know why they did that, but, yeah, they made Goldeen mad. But it does look like Goldeen, so it gets a B. This is a good Seeking. I'd be willing to put this one in S. Alright, Starmie and Staryu. Some of the better sprites in here. Both of which get S. Because they look like what they're supposed to look like. The reflection thing where they made, like, this part, like, whiter on, like, it's, I don't know, gem in the middle or whatever it is, works here because that's what Starmie is. Anyway. Mr. Mime, again, looks pretty good. He looks just like Mr. Mime does nowadays. None really too much to complain about. Alright, Scyther. Maybe they made his eyes a little too big, but he's pretty good. Oh, no, man. But, yeah, I'll give him a B. Jinx. Jinx is actually probably S, now that I think about it. And this is not based on how much I like the Pokemon, as I've said before. This is just based on how accurate they were. And at the time, Jinx had a black face, which was changed because of a racial controversy. But so now its face is purple. But back then it was black. So, but it does look like the way it did at the time. Alright, Electabuzz. I think they made him a little too big here, like on his stomach area. But other than that, I mean, he's pretty good, so we give him A tier. Magmar, yeah, that's Magmar. That's like an A, I think. I think this tier list is pretty accurate so far. What did they do to Pinsir, man? They made Pinsir's eyes so unbelievably small that it actually took me a second to see them. Pinsir's eyes, man. Pinsir's eyes should not be this freaking small, yo. Like, they should be like this guy's eyes. This guy's eyes should be on this guy. Or no, wait, no. Nidoran, let me show you that sprite real quick. The Nidoran male sprite. Because, okay. So, this guy's eyes should be what this guy has. But no, this guy has the smallest eyes. It does not look good on a freaking Pinsir. A menacing-looking Pokemon with those tiny eyes. They don't go together. They look stupid and weird. And keep in mind, I like stupid and weird stuff. But we're judging this on how accurate it is. And those eyes knock it all the way down to C tier. The reason why it's not D is because everything else about it is pretty good. But those eyes ruin the entire thing. Alright, Tauros is S tier. They maybe made its eyes a little big, but, I mean, they kind of made all these guys' eyes a little big, if we're going to be completely honest. So, yeah. Magikarp and Gyarados look good. They're probably both S tier. I'm probably going to put them both in S tier. Sorry about the scrolling. It's just I don't have a capture card for my computer, so I had to do it on my phone. Record the screen of my phone. So, apologies for that. Anyway, let's just get them up there. Okay, Lapras. Lapras looks a little, too fat, I guess, but it's not too bad. I mean, could it be bigger? Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Right? Maybe there's, like, some constraint on, like, the system that prevented them from making bigger-looking sprites. I'm not sure. But, yeah, I'd say it's, like, an A tier. Ditto, again, I mean, that's kind of an odd pose, but that is a pose he does, so, I mean, it is accurate, so it does get A tier. Eevee, they made look mad. Normally, Eevee has kind of like a smile, I think, on it, or at least, I hope it does, or else I'd sound like a freaking idiot. But here, they just, they made its eyes, like, slanted a little bit, like, they made the top of its eyes slanted, so it just looks angry, man. It looks angry, and Eevee should not be a Pokemon that looks angry. It should be a happy-looking Pokemon, like Pikachu or whatever. So I'm gonna put it in D, man. I don't know. Anyway, Vaporeon. What the heck? What the heck? What the heck is this? Who thought that this head on this Pokemon looked okay? Vaporeon's head is pretty much just Eevee's head, but blue, but with a few adjustments. This, even compared to this awful sprite, their heads look nothing alike. They made this too, I guess, I don't know if it's the right word, but they made this too, like, reptilian, and then they gave it a snout. They gave it a snout. If you look really closely, you guys could see a snout on it. It's supposed to just be one nose, but no. They gave this boy a snout. Man, this is an awful sprite, man. I'm putting this in E. I'm sorry, man. Alright. Jolteon looks pretty good. I mean, he's not perfect, but, most of these sprites aren't perfect. So we're going to put him in A. Oh, sorry about that. Anyway. Flareon, probably the best looking one. A little too thick, but, I mean, compared to these other evolutions, that's a godsend. Because the Eevee line, this sprite especially is bad. This one's bad because it just looks angry. This sprite's actually pretty good. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Porygon lover. I genuinely believe that Porygon has a really good sprite. It makes me wonder, how did they mess up on a little bit on the ball, but they pretty much got Porygon exact? I don't know, I guess Volta was just harder to draw or something. I don't know. Alright, oh, Omanyte. I forgot his name for a second. Yeah, he's pretty cool. He's pretty accurate. I'll give him a B. I'll give this guy an S, though. He looks exactly like Amistar, though. Like, this guy has some problems, I think. I don't know what, but I think he has some. But this guy looks pretty good. We'll give him S. Alright, Kabuto, again, pretty good. Kabutops, on the other hand, is like a B. It's almost there, but just the way they place the eyes, or something about, like, the way, like, it's, like, I don't know, like, bump on its, like, not bump, but, like, what's the right word? Just a thing that's making a slant on its eyes, just kind of placed weirdly. So, we'll put Kabuto in S, and Kabutops in B. Alright, Aerodactyl, my favorite Pokemon, has a pretty good, Gen 1 not fire, red and green sprite. Yeah, we'll put him in A. Alright, Snorlax, pretty good. S tier is another S tier for Snorlax. It's a pretty good Snorlax sprite. It looks kind of it does that thing that I kind of don't like, where, like, the sprite is looking at you, so when you battle it in the game, it doesn't really make any sense. But other than that, this looks exactly like the Snorlax art and the Snorlax Pokemon card that came out around the same time. Oh, boy. Okay, so we're almost done. And what a way to go off, because I genuinely think some of these are some of the worst-looking sprites in this entire game. So, first off, we got Articuno. Now, he looks kind of puny looking, and I don't know why. He just kind of does. So, we're going to put it in C. Definitely, I mean, I guess it kind of looks like Articuno, but just something about the way it looks does not scream Articuno to me. Also, it doesn't also scream Legendary to me either. Like, this looks like a regular bird to me. Now, Zapdos is the best out of these, because he looks like Zapdos. This pose has been drawn for Zapdos multiple times and looks just like those fantastic drawings. So, we're going to put Zapdos in S tier. Now, Moltres. Oh, boy. I have been waiting to talk about this guy. This guy looks nothing like Moltres does now. Like, absolutely nothing. There's no resemblance other than the fact that he's a bird and that he is a firebird. Other than that, this looks nothing like Moltres. They gave him a slant on his eyes, which Moltres doesn't even have. And, I mean, he does, but it's, like, angry. This one just makes it look like he's just relaxed. So, yeah, this might actually be the worst sprite in the entire game. It's even worse than Ekans. It may be worse than Geodude. Because at least I can still tell it's a Geodude. If you were to show this to me, and I didn't know Pokemon sprites, I would just think this is from a different game. Like, it's a good-looking sprite, but it looks nothing like Moltres at all. Anyway, Dratini. Dratini's pretty good. Dratini's like an A, I'd say. Alright. Dragonair. I don't know why they're trying to do that spiky thing. This spiky thing where they make, like, certain... Like, you see, like, it's, like, not mouth, but, like... This thing right here, oh, you can't see my finger, but the thing where, like, its mouth would be, they made that spiky for some reason, and I don't understand why, because it's not spiky, but it is a B tier. I'll put it in B. Dragonite actually looks pretty good. I mean, is its tail spiky? I don't think it is, although, I mean, Dragonite's one of my favorite Pokemon. But I don't think his tail is spiky. And it kind of has like a spiky look. You can see with like the lines coming off his tail. It kind of looks like a spiky looking tail. But other than that, I mean, this is Dragonite. So we'll put it in A tier. Alright. Mewtwo. Probably the best sprite in this entire thing. This is basically a 1-to-1 Mewtwo. Nothing is off about it. Now, Mew, on the other hand, I don't know what they were thinking with this one. And it's weird because I see a lot of people talk about how bad the sprite is. And although I do feel like it gets a little overhated, I don't think it looks like Mew that much. Because they kind of made it look... I know Mew is supposed to be based off like a fetus, but they took that idea way too literally with this guy. He just looks kind of weird. And then his arm position is just kind of like weird as well. It's just a weird looking sprite, man. I don't know. But, actually, we're going to put Marowak in F because it's way too thick. Alright. And we're going to put this guy in, I think he's C. Honestly. I mean, he's Mew. Just kind of looks a bit off. Now we'll put this guy in E. Man, that smile, man, on that golem looks weird as heck. Anyway, yeah, that's every sprite. I did not make this tier list. Someone else made this tier list. I mean, I ranked the Pokemon and put them where I think they go. But this is not my tier list. So credits go to whoever made this tier list. I'll put them in the description of this video. Also, I'll put in the description of the video the person who actually colorized all these sprites. Because without it, I probably would have no idea what I'm looking at. But anyways, guys, that was it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and feel free to like and subscribe. No pressure. Anyways, I'll see you guys later.